Hello everyone and welcome to my little corner of the internet. My name is Michael and I'm bitten by a radioactive book. Today I want to show you my May TBR, and as it is huge, so let's get started without further ado. First off, we have a few books that I've already started in April, so I hope to finish them in May. And the first of those is Words of Radiance by Brandon Sanderson. Yes, I'm reading it now. It was a buddy read that I've planned with PT from PT Hilton for quite some time, and I'm halfway through almost, and I really enjoy it so far. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to finish this in the next 1 or 2 weeks. Next up, we have another book I have almost half finished. It's Malice by John Gwynne. It is a very traditional and classical fantasy, but for now it is really good. I didn't expect that. It has a lot of the typical tropes. The main protagonist, Corbin, is like the boy with the destiny. He's no orphan though, thus far at least. So that's new. But yeah, we have with him we have like a typical coming of age story. We also follow other characters. The second very prominent character is Veradis. Veradis is a bit older than Corbin, and he rides with a prince, and the prince believes that he has a destiny himself as well. The world is a typical medieval European world. The interesting part is that there are giants in the world, and they play a significant role. The theological world building is very close to Christianity, so we also have like um, races that are, or not races, mythological creatures that are basically angels, and one of them fell down and took others with him and fought the others. So we have like Alien, who is like the god, and his angels, and opposite him we have Azeroth with his demons. So this kind of world building was a bit underwhelming, because it was, yeah, it was like a copy paste from Christian mythology. Um, but the rest that is yeah, done around it is really good, and so far it's a really enjoyable read. I also read Dragonfly Falling, which is the second installment in Adrian Tchaikovsky's Shadow of the Abt series. It's another series with very interesting world building, because the races in this world are related to insects. So we have like ant kingdom, spider kingdom, wasp kingdom, fly kingdom, dragonfly kingdom. It's yeah, there are a lot of kingdom is the term for basically for a race, and all the races have certain abilities that the insects in the world also have. So if the insect can fly, then the race can fly as well. And other stuff like that. For example, the ant kingdom share like a military hive mind together. So this is very interesting, and some of the races are affine to magic, and others are more related to technology. So we have a bit of steampunk technology on the one hand, but also very classical magic. And the basic plot line is that the Wasp Empire rises, and a group of resistance fighters wants to hinder them in their approach, because most of the nations aren't really aware of what the Wasp Empire is planning. And I thoroughly enjoyed the first book. I rated it 4 stars, and it's a 10-book series, and the series is already completed. And yeah, now I want to make this my big fantasy series of 2015, and hope to read the whole series this year. If you've seen my wrap-up yesterday, then you have seen that I finished Heir of Norron by Michael J. Sullivan, so I finished the Rhaeria Revelations, and now I move on and read the Rhaeria Chronicles. So far 2 books are out there, and I'm buddy reading the Rhaeria series, and the others already read Crown Tower, the first installment of the Chronicles, last month, and want to move on to the second one this month. I'm trying to catch up to them and read both books actually this month. I'm also taking part in Samantha's Inda read-along. I've read Inda in January already, and yeah, then my slump hit in February, so I didn't continue with Fox, the second one. I started it, but I didn't continue with it, and now it's a great opportunity as she is hosting this read-along to just take part in the read-along and then yeah, continue with the series. I really enjoyed the first book, rated it 5 stars, so I'm really looking forward to continue with this series in May. Another series I'm really interested in getting into is the Daedalus series by Michael J. Martinez. That is a series which is a mix-up of steampunk and science fiction. So we have dual storylines. On the one hand, we have like an expedition to Mars where some event happened, so a science fiction element. And I think the researchers find some kind of book, and the book tells about a very weird steampunkish story, actually about a time where ships, like ships, water ships, were able to travel to space as well. So we get this alternate reality story, which I think is the main storyline of the books, where yeah, actually ships are able to travel in space, and the author said about the book it's a bit like Master and Commander set in space, and that seems really interesting. Uh, um, so there will be a lot of ship action, I assume, and I'm starting with the Daedalus incident. It's a trilogy, and the third book, the Venusian Gambit, comes out May 5th or May 7th. I'm not sure, one of those. So the trilogy will be completed this month, and so it's a good time now to read it, because it is already finished then, and you can read all the 3 books in a row. Then I also have a few buddy reads planned throughout the month. I start the month on the 1st with a buddy read, again with Samantha from Novels and Nonsense, and we're reading Camelot Burning by Catherine Rose. It's another mash-up. This time it's a mash-up of steampunk and the Arthurian legend, and that seems very interesting. So the like typical Arthurian themes and characters are transported in a kind of steampunk setting, and yeah, that is sounds really crazy and really intriguing, and I'm really looking forward to get into this series. Here again, not as with the Daedalus series, because this one isn't finished, but the second installment of the series, Avalon Rising, is coming out in May, and so I will be able to read the first and the second, yeah, close to each other. A writer who is like an ebook phenomena or an indie phenomena is David Dalglish. He is very successful with his ebooks and indie releases. He is the author of a couple of series, I think mostly known for his Shadow Cloak or Shadow Dance series that now has like a real a contract as well, and books are republished and he publishes new books in the series, but he has actually a plethora of different series, and the first series he's ever written, I think, is the Half-Orc series, and I'm going to buddy read the first book in the Half-Orc series with Sarah from Books and Junk. And another book I'm going to read with Sarah is Thief Taker by D.B. Jackson. This is very interesting because it is alternate reality. I think we're in the time period of the American Revolutionary War, so it plays in America, in the US. I'm not sure if it's in Boston or New York. I'm not sure, but we're following an investigator, and this investigator has some magical powers, and I think he tries to solve murders, and so we have a bit of a Jack the Ripper feeling with magical elements. That might be how I would describe it. Yeah, and so that is really interesting because there is not a lot of fantasy that is set in this time period exactly, and yeah, it will be interesting to see how that one plays out. We are also starting with Ship of Magic, which is by Robin Hobb, which is the first book in the Life Ship Trader series. It's her second trilogy in her larger Elderlings Realm series. The first one was the Farseer trilogy, and I actually missed out on the last book of the Farseer trilogy as a buddy read, and I really hope that I be able to sneak this one, Assassin's Quest, in before we're starting Ship of Magic, so that I'm able to finish the Farseer trilogy before I start with the Life Ship Traders. So Assassin's Quest and Ship of Magic are also part of my TBR for this month. And last but not least, for the buddy reads, we have Fall of Hyperion, which is the second book in the Hyperion duology by Dan Simmons. We buddy read the first book, I think, in January, and really enjoyed it. And the second book, is kind of a really direct continuation, so a lot of people say, yeah, you have to read the second book because in the first book you don't get the ending of the story, and yeah, so we want to read that one. So this is already an ambitious TBR so far. If I would really manage to get all of those, then there are a few other options. If you've seen my wrap-up video, you saw that I've read Range of Ghosts by Elizabeth Bear. So there would be the possibility to read Shattered Pillar, who is the second installment in the Eternal Sky trilogy. Another option would definitely be Valor, which is the second installment in the Faithful and the Fallen series by John Gwynne. This is the sequel to Malice, which I talked about at the beginning of the video, and we have a third book, Ruin, coming out in June or July, so before that one comes out I want to get to Valor, and this would also be a possibility to read, yeah, if I would really get to all of the other books this month. So we'll see what happens. So those were all the books I'm planning to read in May. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the like button. If you want to see more of me, subscribe to my channel. Next week, I think I'll be back, hopefully with a bit of another wrap-up video, because I hopefully managed to finish 2 or 3 books at some point next week, maybe with a guide video. I haven't looked into what is Top 5 Wednesday. That could be an option. So yeah. Till then, I hope you will get bitten by a really good book too. Bye!